morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Kingster, and I didn't want to do any videos on the topic of religion until I had my website up and running, because every time you do a religious video on a site like YouTube, for example, you have to watch how you phrase things. Because apparently, the most common gods that people worship, the most common gods that people ascribe to, the Jesus and the Allah, they don't protect people from hypersensitivity disorder, at least when it's being used against them. Of course, they don't have any problem slandering us, the Western culture, day in and day out to justify their stupidity, like how they cover their women and make them walk down the streets like piñatas. They justify that by saying things like, oh, well, your women are slutty. Yeah. There is nothing I despise more than religion. Nothing. Every religious member of my family I have a deep-seated hatred for. I am disgusted by them on every level, and their death does nothing but please me. Why do I have such a deep-seated hatred for religion? It's the scientist in me. That's how I see religion. I see it as junk science. The one that offends me the most is Islam, because that is the one that makes a claim that they hold in their hands a direct transcription of a revelation made by a God, the God. And when you read the Quran, page after page, surah after surah, you see nothing but the ultimate in mental stupidity, plagiarism, and scammery. It's a scam. Reminds me of a book I read when I was a child called The Emperor's New Clothes, or something to that effect. But basically it was a scam where two charlatans, they claimed to have magic threads that only the elite could see, and they conned gullible people into paying money for nothing. They claimed that they were buying threads that only the elite could see, and therefore no one wanted to be the odd man out. No one wanted to say, hey, there's nothing elite going on, and these scammers scam these people by using their internal fear against them. Their fear of being ostracized, their fear of not belonging into a group. I've always been a lone wolf. I don't cave in to peer pressure because I have no peers. I'm a freak that stands alone, and I do so proudly. If you've never read the Quran, I advise you to do so. Pay attention to the way it's written, starting off, because they use the same P.T. Barnum tactics. Just senseless appeal to emotion, no appeal to logic or reason or fact. Stupid stories. The stupidest stories I've ever read can be found in the Quran. Stories about how people woke the dead by grabbing the bones of a dead cow and hitting another man. This is supposed to be a revelation from a god. You have no idea how badly I'm biting my tongue right now, because I am dying to really say what's on my mind. There's a story in the Quran about how a man lived inside a fish. You might know it from the Bible, story of Jonah and the whale. And it's plagiarized in the Quran. Same crap. Apparently the Allah thought that story was mind-blowing and had to share it again. That's the Muslim scam. They tell you, oh, Islam has been around since the beginning, but the revelations got corrupted over time, so the Allah had to keep sending new revelations over and over again till he finally got it right. Then you ask a Muslim, well, what is Islam? Well, Islam is the direct worship of nothing but Allah alone. So Allah is so stupid, he couldn't just send a revelation from the beginning that tells you to worship nothing but the Allah alone. No, he has to play these retarded games. That's what the Allah is. A sicko with an IQ less than 100. What really ticks me off about religion, aside from the scientific inaccuracies. See, the scientific inaccuracies, that messes with my OCD. You say bullcrap like there's 7 heavens, or in your hadiths you say things like, oh, the sun sets. When it sets, it goes underneath the throne of Allah, then it waits for Allah to give it permission to rise the next morning. When you say that type of scientific crap, that really pisses off the scientist in me. But the thing about Islam and the Quran that pisses off the humanity in me, things like the circumcision. I saw a documentary the other day where an Egypt, they were circumcising a Muslim girl. If you're not familiar with the process of circumcision, for a boy, the penis is the most sensitive part of his anatomy, especially the foreskin. Ton of nerve endings there. What the Allah instructs the people to do is to mutilate the boy's penis. No anesthesia. So the first memory a Muslim boy or a Jewish boy or a Christian boy that comes from a family that practices such things, the first memory they get into their subconscious is horrific maiming and abuse. This is the merciful Allah that wants you to torture a baby within the first year of it being born. Merciful. I am dying to say what I want to say, how I want to say it, expose who I want to expose. I'm not interested in coming together for peace. I'm interested in busting my Zatari over some goat-faced fool named Sammy. Can't do it on YouTube. Nah, can't do it on YouTube. It's gonna happen. Sooner or later, the people are gonna get sick and tired of having this religious bullcrap spewed down their throat with no answer back due to the censorship that goes on. And these people, slowly but surely, one by one, are going to come to me, and they're going to support my project. Big time stars will be up, and it will be the ultimate free speech site. And when it's up and running, I'm coming after all of you, and all of you know just who you are.